Courtney, where the hell are you? I am starving. Where is my damn dinner?
Sorry, Sandra. My daughter won't stop crying, so I'm outside trying to quiet her down.
She is still crying? She's been crying all day.
I know. Her diaper has changed and she just had her milk. I don't know what's wrong.
It's been 6 months now. When are you gonna learn how to make your own baby stop crying? Are you sure you are her mother?
She isn't always cranky like this. Usually she settles down when I hold her.
She's so loud, though. I think you forget that I live in the same house.
I'm sorry for all the noise.
What are you going to do if I get sick from not resting well? I need at least 8 hours of good sleep. I am very sensitive about my health, you know, and you haven't been keeping up with housework lately.
Sorry, but you have to understand, I am very short of sleep too. I don't have any energy left. Can you please help me with the chores? I can't do everything while holding the baby.
What are you talking about? You can't make your own mother-in-law do any chores.
Not all of it, of course. But can you at least do your own bit? You know, like your own laundry and preparing your own food?
So, you're saying you can't do it either? Because you have to hold the baby? Then why don't you hold her while you do your work?
Sandra, you know that's not possible. How do you expect me to cook while holding the baby?
I will absolutely not do any housework. I hate cooking. I have arthritis and I can't do laundry.
I will make breakfast and lunch then, so can you make dinner? My daughter tends to cry in the afternoon. So if you can help me while she is most cranky, that would really help.
No way. I want my dinner to be the best meal of the day.
Can you at least vacuum the floor then? Perhaps just the first floor?
I have a bad knee, so no. Don't you get that I'm too old for any housework? If you find keeping the house so difficult, then why don't you ask my son to help you with the baby?
I can't ask him because he's so overworked. In fact, he's probably more sleep-deprived than I am. He does help me on the weekends, but I feel so bad asking him to help on weekdays.
How pathetic of you two. You only have one daughter. I raised 3 boys all on my own. Your hardship is less than a third of mine.
But my husband told me his grandparents practically raised him. You got help from your parents, didn't you?
Like I said, I had 3 boys. You shouldn't need any help when you only have one girl. Ah, young people are so sad nowadays. They don't teach enough about perseverance at school anymore. I just ran into Miss Thomas from next door. She gave me loads of tomatoes picked from her garden.
Oh, that's so nice of her.
I'll be back in a minute and would like to have lunch right away. I am starving. I could faint.
Sorry, Sandra. I was taking a quick nap while my daughter was sleeping. I will make something right away.
Unbelievable! You were sleeping when you should have been working?
I haven't been feeling well today. I was only going to sleep for a few minutes, but ended up resting for a bit longer than that. But I can prepare something quickly.
You are just pretending to be sick.
No, I mean it. My temperature is quite high.
How high?
100.4 degrees Fahrenheit.
Oh well, I guess that is a bit high. You better not have come down with the flu.
I don't know. I'm feeling quite nauseous. And my stomach is a bit upset too.
It could be a stomach flu then.
Maybe.
Well, what if you get me infected? You know my condition could get worse from something like that. Don't you dare splatter germs all over the house.
I'm not coughing. And I don't think it's anything serious. I'm sure you'll be fine.
You don't know that? I could catch whatever you have and have different symptoms. I could even end up with pneumonia.
Perhaps you are right. I'm sorry.
Make sure you don't get me sick. Don't leave your room.
Well, I cleaned all over the house this morning like you told me to. I went into your room and wiped your windows too.
Why would you pollute my room with your germs?
I thought you would get mad at me again if I didn't. You won't do any housework, so who else is going to? I do all the cooking and cleaning and washing every day because if I don't, the house will become a huge mess in a matter of days. Isn't that what you wanted me to do?
I would rather eat instant noodles if I have to eat food full of germs.
Would you? Wow, that would be so helpful.
This is a temporary measure, though. Don't you forget. And you need to disinfect every part of the house you touched with alcohol. Get it done before I am home.
Sure.
I need you to get back on housework as soon as possible. So you need to go to the doctor and get your problem fixed.
Okay, I can do that. Thank you.
Ah, this is so annoying. Why are you so useless? Go as soon as you are done with the disinfection.
Sure. Oh, but I can't take my daughter. I will ask my husband to watch her and go to the clinic tomorrow morning.
Tomorrow? No, that is too late. You need to go right away.
But she is really cranky right now. There is no way I can take her. I won't even be able to drive with her crying like this.
She's crying again. Fine then. I will show you how it's done. Leave her with me and go to the doctor right away.
You will look after her?
One-time offer, but yes.
Are you sure? She is a very sensitive baby.
Who do you think you're talking to? My skills with kids are 1,000,000 times better than yours. I can handle without an issue while you are gone to the clinic.
You said you have a bad knee, though. Are you physically able to care for her?
Don't underestimate me. I will show you how to handle babies. You must go today so you can get back to housework, ASAP. Be ready to leave her with me by the time I get back.
Thank you so much. You are a lifesaver.
Courtney, where are you? You need to get back home now.
What's going on, Mrs. Thomas?
What's going on? Are you insane? Why did you leave your baby at home by herself? She's not moving.
Wait, are you talking about my daughter?
Yes. What were you thinking?
Do you see Sandra around? She's supposed to be looking after her.
I don't think she's at home. I've been ringing the doorbell and banging on every window, but no one is answering.
I will give her a call right now.
No, we have to help your baby now. She needs to be taken to the doctor right away.
What is wrong with my baby? Why are you there, Mrs. Thomas?
I could hear her screaming from my house for a very long time. Maybe like an hour or so continuously.
What?
I didn't like the way she was screaming, but then it suddenly stopped. So I got worried and came to have a look. And I see her on the floor, face down by the sofa. I think she fell off.
Oh my god, is she hurt? Is anything broken?
I can't tell. The door and windows are locked. She needs to be locked right away.
Can you please call an ambulance?
My son just called, but we can't open the door for the paramedics. How are we getting her out of the house? Can you get back right away?
Break the window. It will take at least 15 minutes for me to get back. I give you permission to break the window to rescue her. Please do it.
Okay, then I will. The ambulance will be here in 5 minutes. I'll let the paramedics take her without waiting for your arrival, but I will stay with her.
Please. Thank you so much.
I will let you know as soon as I know where she's being taken. Be ready. Hi, do you have a minute?
Hello? Mrs. Thomas, how can I help you?
Do you know what happened at your own house? Your granddaughter was taken to the hospital earlier today.
What?
We called the ambulance because we found her lying on the floor. She must have fallen off the sofa. Why did you leave the baby on her own?
Oh, well, my daughter-in-law must have left her there. I was ill, so I was sleeping in my bedroom.
She told me you were supposed to be watching her.
Did she? I'm sorry, but please don't mind. She is a compulsive liar. She always blames me for things.
Courtney does not seem like a liar to me. Were you really ill?
Yes, I was. Why won't you believe me?
Because my son saw you. He found you passed out on your bed, in a room full of empty wine bottles.
Saw me when? And how? Exactly.
When we were rescuing your granddaughter, I got hold of Courtney and she gave us permission to break a window to get in.
What? You broke a window? Are you serious?
It was an emergency. We didn't know if the baby was all right. Her life could have been taken at stake.
I guess you are right.
I went with the baby to the hospital, but my son stayed behind to do something about the window. There were broken glass everywhere, so he didn't want to leave it like that. He was looking for things he could use to clean up the mess, and that is when he found you in one of the rooms.
I haven't had anything to drink.
My son said he could smell the alcohol from the outside door. He also tried to wake you up, but you were wasted.
I don't know. I don't recall any of that.
Sandra, you should admit that you got drunk and fell asleep. I understand you're upset for getting caught, but don't blame it on Courtney. I think you should tell her the truth and apologize for what happened. Why did you leave the baby on the sofa?
She wouldn't stop crying, and I didn't know what to do. I thought it would be nice and warm by the window for her to nap. I never imagined she'd move so much and fall off of the sofa.
You liar.
Huh?
This is Courtney. Mrs. Thomas is letting me use her smartphone.
I didn't know you were with her.
She let me know what was going on. Sandra, how dare you? You are a sick liar.
Excuse me?
What was that about showing me how it's done? What exactly did you want to show me, huh? A bad example?
I accidentally fell asleep. You fell asleep the other day and forgot to make my lunch too. Remember?
I would never abandon a baby on the sofa. What were you thinking? She fell off and hit her head and was lying face down. Don't you know how fragile a newborn baby is?
I didn't do any of it on purpose. You shouldn't have left the house without your baby in the first place.
You offered to look after her. She could have suffocated to death. How are you going to take responsibility if she ends up with a serious after effect or something?
Don't be so dramatic. She just bumped her head a little.
This is very serious, Sandra. A baby can die from something like this. Are you not sorry at all? I think I should report you to the police for leaving a child unattended.
What are you talking about?
Your son and I love our daughter very much. I bet he would want to report you too if he found out of what you've done. He would disown you too.
Don't be stupid.
You really don't want that, do you? Because you won't be able to live without him paying for everything or me taking care of you. You depend on us too much.
I was looking after your daughter for a while, but she wouldn't stop crying. So I ended up having a bit to drink, but I was not wasted. I think I fell asleep because I'm sick now, from the cold I got from you. That's why I was passed out and didn't hear Mrs. Thomas or her son.
Let's say hypothetically that was true for a second. It doesn't change the fact that you left a tiny baby on the sofa.
Like I said, I did that because I thought it would be cozy for her, out of thoughtfulness.
No, you just didn't want to take care of her anymore. So you left her on the sofa and retreated back to your room, which is far away from her. You just gave up and got drunk. I've had enough of your laziness. I am leaving you immediately.
Go ahead, do as you please, but don't drag my son into this.
You think you would want to live with somebody who nearly killed his daughter? Besides, why do we have to continue to take care of you? We are busy enough taking care of our baby girl. You are not worth our time. We refuse to babysit a lazy old woman like you. I was so furious that I refused to even breathe the same air as Sandra. So I never returned to the house after our last conversation. We didn't have anywhere else to go besides my parents' house, to which we were welcomed into. Mrs. Thomas helped explain the situation to my husband, who was enraged with what Sandra had done. Having understood the seriousness of the situation, he was so ashamed of his own mother. The same night, he quickly gathered our belongings and left the house. Sandra was devastated and tried to stop him, but of course, failed. Soon after, all of our remaining possessions were moved out of the house. Thankfully, my daughter didn't suffer any major injury and was discharged from the hospital after all tests came back clear. I have stayed in touch with Mrs. Thomas, who saved my daughter's life. She told me recently that Sandra's lonesome life seems to be in complete disarray. Knowing she doesn't have any money or the skill to take care of herself, I am not surprised at all. The last I heard, she's fallen ill and barely gets out of her bed. We now live peacefully in a condo far away from her. Since we are located near my parents, they help us when we need a hand looking after our daughter. Reflecting back to my old days, though, I think it was much more difficult looking after my mother-in-law than my newborn baby.